In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Shang Chi and the Legend of the 10 Bracelets.
You mean the 10 rings, right?
My precious. What's up, everybody?
I'm Leo.
And I'm Iz.
And welcome to the RNI podcast.
Welcome. I know you guys are, thinking like, what's going on? But today's a little different. Randolph is actually planning his wedding. It's so close, you can almost taste it. So he will not be here this week and probably for the next one. But here we go. We'll be talking about Shang Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings.
Yeah.
So before we get started, I have a special guest. I don't know if you guys can see him behind me. He is a musician out here in Las Vegas, a good friend of mine. How long have we known each other? Like almost a decade.
Yeah.
Very long time.
Yeah.
And, we've been in the scene together and just playing a lot of reggae music, country style reggae and all that jazz, all that stuff that you can like kind of figure out like what Polynesians play these days. That's what we do. Everybody welcome Brother Jimmy to the podcast.
Thank you guys for having me.
Welcome.
Yes,
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Happy to be here. Yeah. Hello, R&I podcast world.
Yes.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I thought Iz's voice was low. Dang. Look at that.
Hey, I
sexy
did
radio
this
voice
specifically
right there.
for this part.
You're still
This
sexy.
is my low voice. This is my regular voice.
Yeah.
Oh, the regular voice
This is my regular
voice.
voice. Anyway, called Jimmy here because he's also on the path of the podcast world, possibly, right?
Yes.
Thinking about doing
Oh,
that.
nice.
Yeah.
And so, maybe we can, kickstart that experience for him now. I should go in airplane mode. But, yeah, so Shang-Chi, what you guys think of it? Like, I was excited just trying to watch it. I was in the middle of moving. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell.
Oh, great timing. Great timing.
Literally in the middle of moving. I think there was a gig. I had a gig last week. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We had a gig last weekend.
Yep.
And oh my gosh, I was supposed to see you guys last night, but yeah, we ended up watching Shang-Chi like super late. Like I watched it yesterday, so it's all fresh in my head.
Fresh.
I watched it literally on Saturday after it came out.
Ooh.
I was ready.
Was there a lot of
I
people?
was ready.
That's right.
No, that was the craziest thing. We went, we didn't go Saturday. We went Sunday at 5:00 and there was literally, counting us, there were 12 people in the theater. And it was one of the big ones too.
Oh, geez.
It was empty. I was like, are we in the right movie right now?
Yeah, man.
I don't know what's happening. That was crazy. And I think it's partially because, I don't know about you, but I feel like this movie did not get the hype it deserved.
You're
for
right.
sure.
Yeah.
Like I think I watched maybe 3 commercials or trailers like announcing the movie,
Mhm.
and then that's about it. It was crazy. I was like, this movie is not getting all of the advertisement it needed, and I thought that's why that's why the theater was so empty, right? I'm like, man,
Right.
it might just people might probably not know about this yet or something. I don't know what's going on, but I saw an article where it has the highest Rotten Tomato score. It has 98%.
Oh yeah.
Really?
98%. Yeah. And it broke the record of all Marvel movies in the box office for the first week. So I was just like, where was everybody on my day?
They all watched it on Friday. No, Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday night.
I went on Saturday this weekend and it was full. Like I was actually
Really?
surprised. Yeah.
I guess everybody just went the first 3 days.
Well, word
they
of
came
mouth.
around.
Word of mouth. Like the first week
True.
came out, same thing. The ads, I completely agree with you on that one. But
Yeah.
I just heard it from a lot of people also, like
Yeah.
Shang-Chi. And I think that's where the buzz really came from for the second week, right?
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
Yeah.
was this the first week?
This is right now we're in the second week.
Yep.
And that's when, obviously I watched it yesterday and there was literally like 6 people. And I'm just like, yo. what is
Everybody just
going
went
on?
at the beginning then. Like the first
Yeah.
3 days was just like everybody like, finally we could go to movies and this is gonna be a great one. Let's just pack the whole freaking theater.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's crazy. But yeah, I thought it was really well done. Honestly, probably my favorite Marvel movie as of yet. As of yet. I thought they did a fantastic job with the movie.
Yeah, you're right. Like a lot of the I'm a big martial arts buff. Like,
Me too.
Not big enough to remember names or anything like that, but that I've seen enough movies to like really understand styles and stuff like that. And when Michelle Yeoh, when she was doing the mother's open hand technique, like that was really nice. It really brought me back to those old Shaolin movies.
Yeah,
you know
definitely rooted with Tai Chi.
Yeah, yeah.
You could definitely see the Tai Chi movement.
A lot of I think there was a lot of Wing Chun too.
And
I
think she was actually trained by the legendary Airbender.
Yeah, probably. Aang.
Oh, dude,
Aang's the only one, really.
Yeah.
So the 10 rings in the beginning of the movie, you find out that the dad or Wang Wu, or the Mandarin, he found him in like a tomb. Right, he found the rings in a tomb.
That's the legend, right? Either he found them in a tomb or a crater, or he stole them from somebody, but nobody knows the real truth of where the rings came from, right?
Yeah, no one knows.
But yeah,
and apparently he could wield it like very well. You know what I mean? Like he was destroying countries, and then he went from destroying countries to espionage. You know?
Yeah.
I can assassinate everybody with regular instruments of death, other than these 10 rings. I was just like, there was a scene in the beginning where he was like he sniped someone, and I'm like, what does that have to do with the ring? And I was like, couldn't he just like he could have just like boom, you know?
Yeah. It's like he was shooting like colorful Cheerios out of his arms. Like, man, he must be amazing at ring toss games.
Oh man, don't play shoe horses with him.
Yeah.
Just wins every time.
And then there's a part where the mom and the dad, like, okay, so like the mom and the dad had a really a nice relationship. Actually, I thought throughout the movie that the dad was like more of like a trickster, like he tricked her to marry him. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But in the beginning, it's the wife that's talking. And she's like, you know, I fell for him, this and that. I'm like, oh, it's for real.
So I thought the same thing. I thought he was definitely going to be like, he was just tricking her to get into, I forgot what the place is called.
Tao
Lo. Yeah. I was like, oh man, this is going to be bad. But no, I mean, he fell in love.
That scene, like how they were able to fall in love that way. Because with him being like this crazy conqueror for 1,000 years, and he's all about power, and then he goes into this epic fight and he gets beat so gracefully and beautifully.
Right.
You can literally see him falling in love with her as they're fighting. And her with that little quirky smile looking at him. And you're just like, oh, this is where Shang Chi is about to be born. Like they're about to have a baby. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I agree. I loved, like, all the fighting scenes were so great, but that scene in particular was just so intimate. Like it was a dance more than it was a fight, right? And it was just done so well. I was like, dang, they just did such a great job with this movie. And so good.
You're right about that too, because like there was old kung fu movies that actually would have lover spats like that. You know,
right.
Where the wife controls the husband's anger, doing all these crazy other moves that can you know, break him down. And I really like that, you know. And I was watching some YouTube videos actually, and you know, they talk about how the dad has a fist and the mom is the open hand, you know, fighter, and you know, you got this going on right there. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying, that's interesting. I was like, I've known this thing for what? I don't know, 30 years. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, anger, peace. Okay. That's I'm dumb.
So I took Kung Fu for like 2 years.
Oh,
actually, the guy, you know, the guy in the bus who starts recording the fight.
Yeah.
When he's like, "Yo, guys, I took karate for like a year." So like, I started laughing. He's like, "I get that. But I took Kung Fu. I took Kung Fu for like 2 years, and it was awesome. And I learned Mantis style. So the aunt when she's teaching Shang Chi when they're in Tao Ho and she does a pose, I'm like, ooh, that's Mantis, that's dope. I know that.
Nice. You know what's funny about the Mantis? It looks like the backhand is carrying like a purse, like very like fragile,
right?
You know.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Is what you saying?
But no. I was just like, I thought it was really. I thought the whole thing was just so good, and yeah, I lost my train of thought for a second, but I thought it was really well done. And I like I said, the fight. I'm a fan of martial art movies, and they're just especially when they're done right, you know. So I appreciated all of the stuff that was done.
Yeah, I saw hints of Wing Chun as well throughout
Mm-hmm.
those fight scenes in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just this specific movie, just like I'm like,
All
all right,
Donnie Yen passes through your head. Right.
Okay, so Simu, or the son, you know, obviously he was the one. He's Shang-Chi. His whole story, his whole arc, just seems like, dang, bro, like your dad did you dirty, bro. You know what I mean? And so that's like I'm like throughout the movie, I was just thinking like, yo, the dad is tricking everybody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And throughout it, you actually peel off a ton of story. You know, like it reminded me of lettuce. You know, and there's just more that you got to take off until you get to the center. Like, and then when you finally do it, I was just like, oh, everything just makes sense. And with Simu's character, or Shang-Chi, him having a hard time trying to understand who he is was actually pretty dope. Like the way that they made his character out to be, you know?
Absolutely.
And yeah, I mean, and he wasn't even my favorite character in it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so like and then his best friend Katie, or a.k.a. Aquafina, the queen. So girl,
love her.
She's amazing. It was funny that I saw her in the movie though. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Aquafina just going everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like, after I watched that movie Farewell, I was just like, wow, okay, she can act.
Yeah,
she's
great.
She's good. You know.
Yeah, she is.
And so she was a nice touch to Shang-Chi's character, even though I've never read Shang-Chi like the comics. You know, I mean, I've heard of him because of me diving into the MCU prior to.
Right.
You know, it's always just like these talks in the social media world about, oh yeah, going to be new heroes, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. You know, when they're doing the Phase 4 thing with Kevin Feige, when he was doing that on I think it was what was it? Comic-Con?
Yeah.
You know, and so just like being able to see it unfold into what it became, it was a great movie. You know what I mean? And speaking of the movie, so like favorite characters, right? My favorite character is Jia Ling, the sister. And I'll tell you why. She said my dad didn't want me in his empire, so I built my own. I was just like, okay, all right, okay. You know, it's just like I'm on board.
She was pretty awesome.
You know, I'm just like, yo, this woman, who is she? And Jia Ling, and like even her weapon, like
oh yeah, the dagger at the end of the rope.
Yeah.
Oh dude, she's Scorpion. Bro. She's the female Scorpion.
Right. That's probably one of my favorite martial art weapons is the dagger with the weight on the other side. Because if you know how to mess with that, like it looks so good. You just like flinging this thing around, you get it around your legs, around your arms, and you just like catapult it towards somebody. Oh man, it looks so good.
Oh yeah. And like what was weird about it? So like the family was definitely like it was super patriarch.
Oh,
you know, all right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It definitely had the Asian culture influence on it.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You know.
Hard. And it was just like both the mom and the dad paid a lot of attention to Shang-Chi. And then, you know, Jia Ling in the back just like, okay, no one likes me or something. You know, no one cares about me. And I was just like, well, the brother did. The brother cared about him. You know what I mean? And the dad ended up she said like my dad didn't want me around. He said that I remind him of his wife. You know what I mean? And I was just like, ooh, is the dad actually protecting the daughter from getting into his world? You know what I mean?
Mm.
I like how they actually brought it up in that way because the oldest son of every, well, let's just stick with, it's a Chinese family, right?
Yeah.
So the oldest son is always the one he's the one that's going to be destined. He's the one that, and then the girl is always supposed to be more of, we will marry you off to somebody of great importance.
Right.
So with the way they portrayed her character, it really showed what the girls go through. Like imagine like, you know, like she has more drive than her brother had. But just like, I like how Marvel's covering different things that's actually happening in the real world.
Yeah. The representation that Xialing had, like, you know, of I guess,
girl power.
You know, girl power, strong women. I was just like, dude, she is killing it. You know, I was just like,
well,
bro, and they were in the Macau where the power broker is at, in the same city, dude.
Oh,
dude, they're in the same city that the power broker is at.
Oh,
imagine two females of high quality running Macau. So you have her, you have the power broker together. So, and then you look at her and you're like, you could definitely take out the power broker.
Oh,
I
definitely.
See her
100%.
actually like respecting the power broker, seeing her as another strong woman. I think she's like full woman's powers rights.
Well, I think they're a little different, right? Xialing and the power breaker. The power breaker is someone who was actually betrayed by her like countrymen, right?
Yes.
So that's both men and women alike. Xialing was literally ousted out of the family because she was the little girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do agree with Jimmy about Xialing just having more drive. I mean,
100%. Yeah.
While I always mess up his name. Shang Chi, you know, he was being taught. She taught herself the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she just did it in the background. Like nobody, she didn't have a teacher. She just watched them and was like, okay, I'm going to just do it better. I'm going to just do it better. And it's going to do it better. You know, and she did. I mean, her, yeah, man, she's
my favorite.
She's one bad mofo, that's for sure.
I think my favorite character would have to be, what's his name? It's like Muppet. What's the name of the pig dog with no face?
Morris. Morris is his name.
Yeah, Morris. Let's go, Morris. Can we get some love for Morris in the house?
Yeah. Morris for sure.
Dude, I'm a sucker for those little guys, bro.
All right.
He's like a dragon butterfly.
Oh my gosh, I want one so bad. Like
he's like an ottoman.
Yeah, you can put your feet on. You know,
so good. I agree that it was a cute pig chicken creature for sure. Whatever it was, it was quite adorable to look at.
Like a hairy tooth or something.
Yeah. And then the part where I enjoyed the part where what's his name? Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor. Yeah.
Where he's pretending to be dead. And
dude, isn't his performance just classic in the MCU universe? Like,
so good.
I'm so happy they brought him back, dude.
All right.
Well, I knew he was gonna be back because he was in a endings after credit.
Yeah, one of those post credits. Was it
But I forget
for
which
Spider-Man? No.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Spider-Man. Remember after he what's his name? Michael Keaton's character met Scorpion in the prison. In that same prison, Mandarin was in, or well, Trevor.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. You're right.
Ooh,
you're right.
Interesting.
And another onion peel comes off.
Yeah. All right. What about your favorite character, Leo?
Oh man, who's my favorite character? I'm just gonna go with the classic and just say Shang Chi. I just really enjoyed everything he did. You know, but I would say it had to be the duo between him and Kate, because I don't think Shang-Chi would have been as good without her being there, just like being his wingman in everything that they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it was just so, and she was just so good. I'm very impressed with her and just her abilities to act.
Comedic timing,
you know,
on point.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very much enjoyed it. That's it. It's so good.
So, will you guys ever hear that on a dark desert highway. You guys ever gonna hear that the same way ever again?
No, never. That was,
I
and I'm like, yes, that's the song for sure.
Oh,
I love
dude,
that
when
song.
she hit that on cue, bro.
I was just like, oh
funny.
no. And then like she's like, yeah, it doesn't work on dumb people. And I was just like, how's it work on dumb people? And then I'm like, oh, I guess it'll just confuse them. Like, why is she singing all of a sudden?
Right.
You know.
It did help her out in that moment when they were on the side of the building. That's for sure.
Yup, with all those ninjas. Bro, what are those? Oh man, those masked men. Crazy. What was his name? The frick. Well, the guy with the mask.
Death Dealer.
Death Dealer.
Yeah.
Dude, what do you think?
Go ahead, Jimmy.
I was slightly disappointed with how they used the Death Dealer. I was hoping for something a little more epic. And
I was just gonna go there,
dude, bro. Like,
just gonna go there.
Yeah, dude. I was like, oh, bro, like
it kind of bothered me just a little bit. It kind of bothered me that first that Shang-Chi beat him so quickly, right? Being that he taught him how to fight, and okay, you've been gone for like 30 years
And
and
you
whatnot.
haven't
Okay,
been
like
trained.
15 years, and you, I really have been trained. Let's be honest. And you beat him in that fight, really? Okay, okay.
Yeah, I felt
Okay,
the same
you
way.
are the best martial artist in the world, so I'll give you that much for right now. But then when he fights his sister and he just gets attacked by a soul eater thingy, I'm like, really? You're just gonna do him that way?
Yeah,
like,
that makes
like
oh,
nothing.
yeah.
dude, it was,
He
and it was so quick.
He didn't get
he was done
nothing.
dirty.
Like, I was like, oh my gosh, dang, he's already gone.
Right?
Dude, that's hilarious.
That was a disappointing moment for me. I do agree with that 100%. Like you brought him in to be this like really, oh man, he's gonna be a tough guy to fight and beat and whatever. And it's like, nope, just bring a soul eater, let it just suck him up, and now he's dead.
All that practice for what? You know what I mean?
To die, to get your soul pulled out. You couldn't defend that, could you?
Oh man.
So the Death Dealer, the guy who played the Death Dealer, is actually one of the choreographers of the fights and stuff like that. Okay.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. I saw him on TikTok actually last year during shutdown and whatnot, and I was just like, wow, this dude's dope. And a lot of his choreography or technique come from Jackie Chan and Jackie Chan's and his team's technique.
You can see it specifically on the bus scene where when he's fighting, he gets out of his jacket and he like catches one of the dudes and he slides back into his jacket. That's like classic Jackie Chan. And from my understanding, that was one of the ones that he was on choreography for.
Oh, so, yeah. He, like Jackie Chan didn't say anything or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name, the actor's name, but yeah, no, he would play the Death Dealer, but it was crazy that he was one of the main choreographers of that whole series. That gives me hope for martial art films. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I love my martial arts, and I would like it to be as authentic as possible, as well as acrobatic as possible. Because I don't know if you guys remember, like in Rumble in the Bronx, Mr. Nice Guy, all those weird and wacky situations that Jackie Chan was in, like all fit the whole fighting scene and everything like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's an artist for sure. Jackie Chan is at the top of my list of people that I just like. I'm in awe of because of their talent, their abilities, their way of thinking when it comes to performing for movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, dang, this guy just knows how to do it. And talking about that, so it's funny. When I was watching the movie, the scene where they're on the side of the building and they're doing the whole, fighting on the
bamboo scaffolding.
Yeah,
the scaffolding and everything. I'm like, okay, that's definitely. I swear it was one of the Jackie Chan movies where he's fighting about
Rush Hour 3.
Was it?
Where they're in China and they have Rush Hour 2.
They also do it in Shanghai Nights.
You're right.
And I think there's another one. I feel like there's another one from the 90s, and it was a Chinese film.
Meals on
Not
Wheels?
an American one.
Meals on Wheels?
I can't remember.
It could be that one.
But I just, there was a part of me that was like, I'm like, okay, you could definitely see the influences of all of the past, martial art performers. But at the same time, I felt a little sad because I'm like, man, and an era has come to an end, because you have people like Jackie Chan who are performing these things live, right? They're harnessed in or whatever, but they're falling. They're doing this on the side of a building and whatnot. And some parts of this movie, obviously, because they're like, it's not a real building, or for the most part, it's CG.
Mhm.
And I'm like, man, remember when people were falling and it was real when they would fall to the like 3 stories down,
Right?
And now we have to kind of CG it because it's just too dangerous or whatever the case may be. But I was like, man, like that stuff would have been, Jackie Chan would have been able to do some of this stuff, or his stunt doubles, or not his stunt doubles, but the stuntmen that he would fight against with,
Yeah, his whole team. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was kind of sad to think of how, and it is not this movie's fault. It's because this movie was great in so many aspects, but I feel like directors in general have become a little bit more lazy, and whenever they can include CG, they will. Instead of having them actually perform stunts that are, that they can do themselves, they rather have it be CG version, and you can kind of tell the difference when somebody's actually trying to climb up something, or when it's just a CG person doing it, because the movement isn't the same. But like I said, that's not a fault of this movie. That's a fault of the technology that we have today, and the accessibility that these directors and producers or whatever have to that technology.
I feel like it was a great way to pay homage to a lot of Jackie Chan's, like when they used the bamboo scaffolding.
Oh,
but
yeah.
to take it to the next level up, let's do it on a skyscraper now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let's do it on clouds.
So I actually love the way that they did it, and I remember paying attention to that one, and like the way that it looked down, you can never, well, at least for me, I couldn't see the ground. It was just more of a darkness, and it showed like at least 4 levels, but really, really high. Like you knew it was high up there, but you didn't feel that way when they were actually fighting, which is pretty cool. But that scene was great because when his sister comes back, because she abandons them, they leave. Her number one dude flips them off and goes down the elevator. They disappear. Now they're off fighting on the side of the building, and then the sister comes back like, I got you back for that one. And I forgot what he said. He's like, you abandoned me. You left me here to die. And she was like, you see how it feels? Like, man, dude, she's great. She was awesome, bro.
That was pretty good.
And so, the name of the person, the death dealer, his name is Andy Lee. And yeah, he actually doesn't have like formal training of martial arts. He and his brother created it. They created like a team, and they did it they did filmmaking or independent filmmaking for like 10 years. And they've had like 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and they've been making videos, and so much so that they were able to work with Jackie Chan and Michelle Yeoh. So
I mean, that's freaking awesome.
That in itself is crazy.
Is he the one that they got to play the last Airbender?
No.
There's somebody from this movie that's going to be in that one.
Oh, the new one? I have no idea the new cast. No, I didn't see the new cast. Yes. But Andy Lee, I saw his interview on the red carpet, and he was just saying, it was really, he was just saying how nice it was to be a part of the Shang Chi film, and and then I recognized, I was like, dude, I've seen that guy before on social media. I was just like, yes. I was just like, okay, he probably started around the same time like most YouTube stars started, around 2008, 2006. I want to say, if you want to go far back, but yeah, I mean, this guy, he's made it. You know what I mean? He made it. He's working with Jackie Chan, man.
Okay, that wasn't the guy he wasn't the one that did the choreography then, right?
He could have been. He could be. He could. But he said in the interview that he helped out a lot with it. So it could be that he made up his own, but he was the guy that fought Shang Chi in the building.
Yeah.
That's when the dad's all like, I told my men that if they tried, they would not be able to kill you. I'm glad I was right. I was like, hold on. So there's a possibility? Hold on.
Yo, the dad, by the way, like, man, so many emotions for the dad, because it's like, he was definitely human in every aspect, you know. he went through every emotion. I mean, granted, 1,000 years, you know, you go through all the emotions at some point in your life, right? But it's like he went from being this power hungry warlord to falling in love and having a family, to losing the love of his life and just being engulfed by the tragedy, you know, and unable to overcome it,
right?
You know. And I think it was a great example of how depression can really consume you, you know, because he went to the point where he started hearing her voice, which wasn't, and going to do something, no matter how dangerous it was for the rest of the world, right? As long as he was happy, and it was just like, dang, man, it's like you can't really hate him, because how many of us wouldn't try to do everything in our power to bring somebody we love back? You know, when you're in that kind of level of depression, of just like distraught, like you don't think straight anymore. You're doing things to ease the hurt, you know. So you just can't hate him. And then at the end, when he gives his son that look of realization, like, oh shoot, I really have messed up, and hopefully I can what's the word I'm looking for? Like, say I'm sorry, you know. He hands him the last 5 of his rings so he can go and finish off the soul eater. Yeah, I was like, dang, bro. Like, why did you literally have to figure that out literally the last minute?
what the like with the voices and all that he heard, it's very similar to WandaVision. So when she was hearing her sons, and they're all, save me,
that doesn't exist.
Me.
Yeah, right.
You know, same airy sound on it. And then at first I thought the voices would actually be the Soul Eater. But after thinking about it, once the Soul Eater came out, it didn't talk to anybody.
Right.
It wasn't like, get away, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like,
fool.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't continue the conversation. So I wonder if there's another being behind controlling the Soul Eater, the one that sent it originally.
I think it's Mephisto. Or Mephisto.
Oh.
Okay. Because I was watching some stuff.
Yeah, but what about Celestials?
Celestials?
It would have to be like a godlike entity.
No, not necessarily, because they're not in the same. Technically, they're not in the same universe.
Well, that's where it's breaking down. Now it's becoming the multiverse.
Right. But a Celestial lives outside of that, right? Or do they live inside of the verse? They live outside of the universe. They live outside of it, right?
No, they
live outside of this.
I mean,
have you seen
the trailer?
Loki.
Yes.
So Loki, there's the sacred timeline. I believe the Celestials live outside of that. Right?
I mean, true, but I mean, wouldn't they just be living in a different universe altogether? That they oversee what's going on in our universe? I mean,
maybe they're basically gods.
Well, like in Loki, when he was in the Time Bureau or whatever, they realized that everything was going on at once, but it was all on the same thread, right?
Yeah, basically just branching out.
So once with that happening, and then the snap of the fingers that happened with Thanos, them going back, like there's supposed to be that break. I think that's where Marvel's going. They're going to do that break where the whole multiverse comes in, because then,
it's really the only direction they can really go with it. And whether or not that's the way they want to go, I mean, we'll see what they can do. But we talked about this when we talked about Loki, right?
Right.
When you start messing with multiverses and timelines and all this, you start forcing yourself to go down one road. You can't, and it becomes really hard for you to, let's not go that way. Or another example, is his favorite, Fast and the Furious, right? You start getting more ridiculous. You can't help but get even more ridiculous than that. You can't pull the brake anymore, right? You could only go forward. And it's the same thing with Marvel. Like, okay, now we're entering multi universes. So what the heck is a freaking monster or an alien from our universe? It's nothing in comparison with all the crazy stuff that's going to be happening, right? It's like, okay, great. So why would I want to watch a movie where you fight another human when we can now watch you fight, this seven-headed god creature that never dies or something, right? It's like it's a dangerous place, and we'll see how Marvel does it. But I do agree. I mean, what they're gonna do, who knows, man? But I am looking forward to it, and I want to see how they'll bring it all together if they even can, right? Because and then with Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh
out,
yeah,
right.
Especially the fact that Wong was in the show. You know what I mean? So
right.
like, there's got to be some kind of connection between.
And with the Spider-Verses, like all of these Spider-Man and all of their villains, like starting to come into one, intertwine with each other. It's like, man, you're bringing a lot of things that hopefully you can keep it organized.
And speaking about Wong, what do you guys think about Wong versus the Abomination?
Oh,
dude, you have to bring that up, dude. Like,
no, I was just waiting.
and the fact that they got there together.
Well, right, I love that was the funniest part. He's like, "Hey, how about next time you hold your punches?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, I see you guys are working. This is a scam, huh?"
Right.
I see how it is. That was pretty dope, and I was watching a YouTube where they brought that up, and I'm like, how is Wong going to handle this whole situation where he's working with the Abomination and also working with Bruce Banner at the same time?
Oh yeah,
they're not friends.
They're not.
It's like, what is your relationship with Abomination that you're like, trying to make money together to get in these underground fights? What's going on?
Dude, yeah, I was just like, okay. You're right. Bruce Banner was in, and because in the post credit, like I was just like, Bruce Banner's there, and then Wong's there, but Wong is with the Abomination, unless like that's the Abomination's way to get out of the prison. Or according to Agents of Shield, which isn't a part of MCU, like it's not really canon. He was in like Cairo. He was frozen, basically frozen.
Yeah. Yep.
What is it called? Cryotherapy.
Yeah, it's something like that. And that's when close enough.
It's close. It's pretty close. I mean,
write it in the comments, somebody, what it's called.
Yeah, cryotherapy, something like that. But yeah, so apparently he was in prison. So him being in that underground fight was a little strange. And what was funny was that it was able to contain him.
Yeah. It
contained the Abomination. You know what I mean?
But he was... It seemed like he was that version of the Hulk in the last Avengers, where it was like Bruce, but with the Hulk's body. I kind of felt the same thing going on with the Abomination, but we never really heard him say anything. So I don't know. Maybe Wong has the ability to go inside of him and turn off that evil part of him. And I don't know.
Are they angry?
Be nice.
Okay.
Isn't the general? The Abomination, what's his name? General, what is his name? The guy who keeps going after Bruce, after the Hulk.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, from the last Hulk movie.
From the last Hulk, yeah. I don't know if it's the same guy.
It's the same guy. They used his, they brought him back and used his facials. Yeah. That's why if you look now, the Abomination from the Hulk movie looks similar, but it's completely different.
Right,
now.
a little bit different. There's different, like I think this Abomination had like fins almost looking stuff on him.
More towards like the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but I thought the generals who became the Abomination, but we saw
another guy that became the Abomination.
Was it? I can't remember.
Tim Roth.
But Tim
Roth.
Yeah. General Ross. He becomes. I thought he was the one who became the Abomination.
Yeah, he's.
But I was just thinking about how he could be that when we saw him in Black Widow. But Black Widow happened. I'm assuming happened much. I mean, obviously happened much before because that happened before the end game. So he could have become the Abomination between then and Shang-Chi.
Yeah, because he got the super soldier serum, and then after that he took the vile blood of Hulk's blood, and boom, Abomination.
Yeah, and Abomination's, or the character that played Abomination, Emil Blonsky. Tim Roth was the actor that played Emil Blonsky, and apparently he's a special ops commander too. So Like, I thought it was the General Thaddeus Ross that
Yeah.
became the Abomination in the first Hulk, the one where they're in San Francisco, I think it is, when he fought that Abomination. That was the General Ross. That was General Ross's Abomination. The most recent Abomination, the one with the previous Hulk, he fought Emil Blonsky, and so
okay.
Yeah, that's
Too many Hulks.
Oh yeah, forgot
Too many
about
Hulks.
And I don't know if you guys know, but they're gonna do World War Hulk.
Oh, snaps.
And I don't know if you guys remember. Well, I don't even know, like, because I didn't read the comic, but I read it somewhere where in World War Hulk, he comes back to fight like Thor, and the Avengers, and you know, like Captain America, Spider-Man. You know, Hulk is literally trying to kill the Avengers, and everybody trying to figure out why. They think he's going mad, like, you know, like he normally does. Turns to find out that it was actually his family was killed by the Avengers. At least that's what was programmed into Hulk's head. And that was the beginning of World War Hulk, or at least the ending of World War Hulk. Pretty nuts. But, you know, that's another story altogether.
Were you just as confused as I was of how the Hulk was once again Bruce Banner and not the Hulk?
Yeah. I don't know what that means. And
his arm is still broken from snapping his fingers.
Yeah.
So
yeah. He's fried. His arm is fried.
Didn't his human self come out of Hulk on the last Avengers where he kind of gets pulled out?
No, that was during one of the Avengers movies. Which one was it?
I want to say it
that
was
Endgame. Was it Endgame?
Which one? What was the question? Sorry.
When what's her name? The Doctor Strange's mentor like forced him out of the Hulk.
Oh yeah,
Bruce Banner's human self out of the Hulk.
Yeah, that's an Endgame.
But
that was before. That was still before he snapped his finger, because when he came back in, because then after that is when he was permanently both Hulk and he was Bruce Hulk or Hulk Banner. I don't know what you want to call him.
He's called
Hulk.
Professional
Professor Hulk.
Professor Hulk. Yeah,
that's what it was. I'm like, I know it was something.
He's
silly.
a professional Hulk. You know.
Hopefully, we find out a She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They already casted the She-Hulk.
Yep. They already filmed, didn't they?
I think they're still filming. But so speaking of, so we obviously know that Hulk is going to be a part of the Shang Chi, arc, so to speak. And I guess so is Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, 100%. Speaking of Doctor Strange, did you guys notice that the water or the water thing was the same as
was exactly the same?
Yeah, I was just like,
yeah, I noticed it. Yeah.
Okay,
I noticed that too, and I saw that and I'm like, oh, that water swirl looks a lot like when Doctor Strange opens the portal to go somewhere. Yeah. Right.
Now that color that they do the portal, is that the same color of the rings when Shang-Chi gets them?
No,
that gold yellowish color.
Sort of.
I guess
it actually looks more closer to the power of the quantum realm.
When they're flying through it?
Yeah, when what's his face? When Ant-Man is like opening the thing up for the girl that keeps phasing or whatever, and he like grabbed a bunch of phantom power or quantum power in that one canister, and that's like he was stuck there for like 5 years, a.k.a. 5 minutes. And so it looked like that. It looked like the same color as that. But so I'm thinking, so there's an Easter egg that I was watching on YouTube that the city that the who's the guy that does the sacred timeline? King Vader?
Kane?
Huh? The guy that Loki met at the end of the
the one who remains?
Yeah, the one who remains. Yeah. So he lived in a city that apparently was within Ant-Man. And when Ant-Man was in the quantum realm, if
right.
If my theory of the rings have to do anything with the quantum realm, I think that would make for an incredible story about how science and magic are one and the same, in which Thor brought up in, I think, Thor 2?
I remember that. Yeah.
Do you remember?
I don't remember. I don't remember which Thor it is, but I remember when Thor makes that comment.
Right. And so, like, are they gonna, like, I don't know, like, it'd be really cool to be like, to make science and magic kind of just like coexist
In our world,
and make
they
sense.
are the same thing.
Yeah, you know. According to like WandaVision, there's also the multiverse she can like kind of go in and out of.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
do you think that? So, the dad or Shang-Chi's dad, he could hear his mom's voice, correct?
Right.
But I gotta say, how the heck did the did the being know of her voice? Like has she heard it?
That's
before?
what I'm saying, dude. There's a dude in the sky.
And also she remember when the mom was gonna protect the house? She or the son was like, but Mom, you lost your powers. And I'm just like,
Right.
wait, I was like, what power?
Yeah, but is it the guys that came after her? They're actually legit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Iron Gang or whatever.
The Iron Gang. Wait,
Yeah.
what do you mean legit though?
Like they're like from the comics.
Oh, yeah, they're from the-
yeah.
Okay, I was just like,
They're supposed to be like elite fighters.
yeah, and
Yeah.
what is that? The past of this of the husband's sins or whatever.
Yeah,
And
because she was not easy to beat, bro.
oh no, no.
No, I mean there were like 10 guys on the ground when she was dying.
No, all of them were on the ground. Yeah, no. When I was watching it, my brother was like, "Man, look at it! Everybody gone, everybody knocked out." So the estranged relationship between the son and or Shang-Chi and the dad was actually pretty incredible. I loved a big thing, like, growing up in Hawaii, I do see a lot of the Asian family hierarchy, so to speak. And it was really cool, or I like how they speak in absolutes to each other in the movie. So like the dad in Tao Lo, the dad pays the respect to his wife, in the grave, inside of the grave chapel, and then the son is all like, or Shang-Chi's like, yo, what's up? I'm not going to let you, open up that gate. And then he's all like, he goes, I'm not scared of you. And then the dad goes, yes, you are. I was like, oh, you're right. He's totally scared of you, Dad. So I was just like, yo.
That's why he ran away for 10 years.
I was just like, yeah.
Right?
Yep. Like, dude, I love that part. I'm not afraid of you. Yes, you are. I was like, oh.
That straight directness of the Asian culture.
Yeah, man, so blunt, and even what's her face? Aquafina's character, Katie, Guang Po, the archer teacher.
Oh yeah,
he was all like, nah, you're not ready. And even when she was learning how to do it, the woman, I forgot her name, but she was the one that made Katie grab all those arrows and the bow to training grounds. And then she goes, if you aim at nothing, you'll shoot nothing.
Bro, that's probably one of my. I'm not gonna lie. That's probably one of my favorite quotes of that whole movie.
Yeah.
Is like, "Speak truth, lady.
Mama
Speak truth."
I mean, not saying anything, but I just, I understand what Katie's going through. Like, I'm just like, I know. You have so much going on, but there's so much more you can do. You know what I mean? And which makes Xia Li why she's my favorite character. I mean, what do you call? She's obviously younger than Katie, and then Katie's like, "Wait, you did what? You did this at 16 years old?" She's like, "Yeah, I built my own empire."
Like, and she's like, "I don't care. I don't know why you're impressed."
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, hey, shut up.
this is me. Talking about her.
Yeah,
to just add on to like how awesome she is, right? We talked about how, or Jimmy said, where she's like, my dad didn't let me be part of his empire, so I made my own,
Yeah,
right?
Love that. Love
Yeah,
that.
and then if you guys stayed all the way to the end of the credits, not only did she make her own, but then she decided to take her dad's empire as well and make it her own. And she's like, yeah, now it's mine.
With the graffiti and all that. Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
And Razor Fist.
Now it's mine.
Dude, his car. Oh my gosh!
Wasn't it just a Hyundai?
Like, he went and got it wrapped. Like it says Razor Fist on the side.
He's like, no, my God. I was just like, out of all the cars.
Dude, seriously.
Hold on. Jia Li was the one that picked that car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so check this out. So everything between that Zhao Li did with the 10 Rings guys, a lot of her interaction was with Razor Fist.
Mhm.
And I was just like, yo,
Mhm.
is there some kind of like love tension between them? Because there's very
Well-
little of love kind of stuff in the show of Shang-Chi,
Mhm.
between obviously Shang-Chi and Katie. And then I was just like, yo, Xiaoling and Razor Fist, are they a thing too? Cause
Okay, and also think about who's standing next to her when she's sitting on the throne.
right, it's
Yeah.
him. It's,
He's on her
You know?
left.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then,
Yeah.
What's the comedian guy?
And then
He's on the right.
yeah,
I don't know his name.
the her number one man.
Number one man, yeah.
the guy who took care of everything for her at the. I forgot his name what is his name? I have it right here.
He was also in Crazy Rich Asians
Yeah.
with like half this cast.
His name was John in the movie, but his name is Ronnie in real life.
Oh, yeah, and he's you can see him a lot on Trevor Noah's Daily Show.
Oh,
He does a lot of his comedy stuff over there. I even saw his Netflix special. That was great. So okay, yeah. So like I was just like, okay, wait, is there a little hint of a relationship that doesn't necessarily need to be brought up, but it's fun to have. Same thing with Katie and Shang-Chi. I'm
True.
just like, hey, are they dating?
And thank goodness, let my girl Aquafina shine. Let her be a
Yes.
love
Right.
interest. She never gets to fall in love in any of the movies she's in. Like, let her be that girl.
Right.
It's funny because my wife, when we were watching it, she said to me, like in the middle of the movie, she's like, I didn't really see her being a love interest, but I can see it now.
Yeah,
right.
And it's
Right.
I agree. Like she doesn't. I think it's because she hasn't been given that opportunity. Everybody sees her as just a comedian, as the relief,
Yep.
the comedian relief, And then we're just like, that's really all she can do. But nah, she can't, man. She's good. She's good.
Give her a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I was a little worried about the like fighting scenes that were going to include the rings, because I was like, man, I hope it's not like all powerful kind of ring fight, and because like in the beginning, that's all it was. He was just showing him Mandarin just whooping everybody with these rings, and it was like OP. And you're like, oh man, if that's all it is, it was gonna be a bummer. Right,
Mhm.
and I'm really happy that Shang-Chi didn't get them until the end.
Yeah.
And when he fought his dad, the fight, that's honestly probably my favorite fighting scene was his fight with his dad. Because even with the rings, it was so well done.
Mhm.
And it was so like martial arts and not just emphasizing the power of these rings. No, it was them fighting each other. And the rings were just an extension of them, right?
Mhm.
And it was so well. I was like, "Oh, thank you! Oh, you didn't kill it for me. That was so good. I was so impressed by that whole, just the whole thing." And like I said, I was really happy that the rings. He didn't get the rings until the end, because if he got them like at the beginning of the movie, I think he would. I felt like it would have been about the rings and not about
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
I like how in that fight scene, the rings kind of represented like as it was changing and switching sides and then split up in
Mhm.
half. It showed the rings actually having like it was torn on the inside. Like you could see
Right.
it yearning to go to Shang-Chi, dude.
Yeah,
And like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
they had a great flow throughout all their fight scenes, but that one with the
Mhm.
rings was pretty awesome.
It was
Yeah,
really
you're
good.
right about that
well
one.
done.
And what do you call it? So the fight. Okay, so when he took half of them,
Hmm.
it was his dad's face
Awesome.
was what it puzzled me a little bit, because it looked like it's supposed to happen. Like he was like, yeah, this makes sense, because you're my son. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I was just like, everything that, like, literally, like you were saying earlier, that the dad really showed he was human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even though that his heart broke because of his wife, he still understood that these are his, you know, that they're his children. That, you know, I was just like, oh man. And like you said also earlier, that he decided to change at the last minute.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think when it went over, like, he kind of had that remembrance of when he fought his wife for the first time. Because she, if you remember at that one moment, she actually controlled the rings for a while and it was spinning around her.
Yep.
They changed colors just like they did for Shang Chi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it might have been like one of those moments where it brought him right
like
back.
aha moment.
It could have been like a worthy moment. Because remember that, what you call, it happened in Tao Lo. So it happened outside of Tao Lo, where she could control the rings and whatnot. And inside Tao Lo, he was the son, or Shang Chi was able to, you know, control it like his mother. But it was a lot stronger within him than it was with either his parents. Because, you know, he is a product of everyone before him, right? And so, you know, he's the dad's fist and the mom's open hand, and then yin and yang, right? Yeah, yin and yang. And so I'm just like, oh wow, that's crazy. And so that big attack that he did at the end with the soul creature, that gotta be a lot stronger than when the dad had it.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? It went inside of his body.
It sure did.
You know, and of course, like in the show, you know, Aquafina got that Walking Dead aim. If you ever watch Walking Dead,
That was
like, oh yeah, you need it at the where? The throat? Okay, done.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, well, you know, and she even brought it up.
She
She's
did
just
a
like,
lot better than Smog.
I literally learned this like 2 days ago, and I was able to, you know, hit the throat. I'm just like, that is crazy.
I was like, the Hobbit took forever to kill the dragon, and then she just comes in there. And,
Smog.
yeah.
So one disappointing thing about the movie for me was actually the fight between Shang-Chi and with the dragon and his sister with the soul creature, whatever his name is. When that fight I didn't really care for, because I was so confused at who was fighting what. So I already knew that the dragon, or the great protector, was fighting the soul eater. Okay. Mm-hmm. So like I understood that part. However, there was like a third being there, a third entity, which apparently was water. Yeah, you know what I mean? H2O. I'm just like, okay, so wait, is the water the magic? And I'm just like, okay, so this is so confusing, and there's so many things fighting. There's the water grabbing onto the soul creature, then you have the dragon, and then all of a sudden, the Xiali's little like dagger and rope was able to like glow like the rings. I'm just like, what's going on? Is it because they're in Tao Lo? Possibly.
And none of those ninjas, when it came towards her, would cut the rope. Like, I was expecting someone to actually, like, as she's swinging it around, like someone just to cut the rope, and then, but she's amazing. She's very talented.
I mean, yeah, but I guess that was my biggest disappointment. Like, just a personal thing that I was just like, well, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I know they're fighting, but it doesn't look as clean. But the fight between the dad and Shang-Chi,
yeah.
Mwah. Chef's kiss right there.
Legendary.
And dude, and those little soul demons or whatever. And remember how they tried to cut it up, and they were just failing. I was just like, oh snap, it's not working.
If it just turned into like smoke,
or whatever, or like juice, or like they were like gelatins.
They got that from Game of Thrones. You must use the dragon glass.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Dude. Game of Thrones.
And what is that? And then Xiali goes, "We must work together." I was just like, that is a random timing. You know, I was just like, to just work all of a sudden. Yeah. And then they're all like, "Why?" And then boom, someone dies. Like, yeah, we should definitely work together.
Wasn't it the Death Eater who died, and that's when they changed their mind?
Yeah.
And once they killed the Death Eater, like, oh no, yeah, we should. He was our best one. You're right.
Bro, those big lion-like things in Tao Lo.
Oh, I forgot about that. Dude. That was so good. I really loved it, and it was it was two of them.
Yup.
I've seen plenty of those statues. All the animals in that place, the statues you see all the time around the Chinese monuments and all that, their buildings. It was awesome to actually see them. Like it was like
So like I forgot what they're called, right? I forgot what they're called, but so if I'm correct, if I remember well, in Chinese culture, they stand for like they're guards, right? They're guardians to an entrance place. So to have two of them inside of Tao Lo, like I was like genius because they're guardians of Tao Lo. They're here to protect the Tao Lo,
and they have to be some type of magic, or maybe they're all from like the same universe because when they actually attacked those little. Like,
they were killing it.
Yeah, they were killing them. They were ripping them apart.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
That was the being that was supposed to go with Mulan and not Mushu.
Oh.
Didn't know if you guys knew that.
Really?
I did not.
Yeah.
I did not.
Because remember,
but it makes sense.
Like it was right in front of the family shrine, just like chilling.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're like, wait, why didn't he leave? And he's like, I got this. My voice is Eddie Murphy. I'm out of here.
You're so right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I was just like, yeah, because when I saw him, I was just like, yo, that was the thing that was supposed to go with Mulan, and if that went with Mulan, oh my gosh, she would have survived. You know, she would have gotten all of China just chilling, but no, like, yeah, I didn't realize it. I was just like, that looks very familiar. I thought it was a dragon at first. But
the lion.
It could have been a lion.
The guardian lions. I just know that that's their purpose, right? They're supposed to guard doorways or the passageways to wherever that's part of like the Chinese culture.
Yeah.
So to see them there was just I was like it's so good, so genius. Good job. I am very impressed.
Protectors of feng shui practitioners.
And you also have the nine-tailed foxes.
Dude, the nine-tailed fox.
That was
I
sick.
so forgot about that.
The nine-tailed fox.
I was like, gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
I know. I was like, where's my Pokemon?
Dude, imagine driving through there on that entrance when they first drive through and then seeing all those different animals, dude. And they were dope animals.
Did anybody else get a Jurassic Park vibe when they were driving by everything?
Yeah.
It's like you know they were trying to get that feel to it, right?
It was like a mixture of Land Before Time and that.
Crazy. Yeah, so like seeing the mythical beasts and all that good stuff, it was great. The movie was amazing.
So well done.
You know, like, was there any Easter eggs?
Deserves so much more hype than it got.
Oh yeah, I know, right? But there was a lot of Easter eggs, I believe, in this show, especially during the post-credit scene when Wong was trying to identify the rings. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't anything scientific from our universe, I guess. And it was nothing alien from from our universe via Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
right.
But apparently, it sent out a beacon or kind of like a SOS.
Right.
So, who do you think it called? Do you think it's a celestial? Do you think we'll learn in Eternals?
I think they'll hint towards it.
Ooh. I guess it depends where Eternals, the timeline falls for Eternals.
Well, it's after the blip. And
right.
Shang Chi is a little bit after the blip. Like, how many days went? It
looked
like it was a
but here's also my thing. Like, do these be, because I'm a little confused about the whole beacon situation. Being that is it now beacon? Did Shang Chi do something to start the beacon? Because the Mandarin has been holding on to these things for 1,000 years and using them. They have not been dormant. He's been using them. So why hasn't the beacon turned on 1,000 years ago? Why is it now at this very moment that the beacon has gone off?
I think it's because of worthiness.
Okay.
So the son. Okay, so the mother, obviously when the mother used it, it didn't work. Remember? But when the dad used it, it obviously didn't work. But he used both of his parents because he has the powers of his mom and he has the I guess the ferocity of his father, the anger of his father. So because of that, the like Thor's hammer, I think the 10 rings found the son worthy. And when someone was worthy, it clicked. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, someone that's supposed to be using this is using it. So here's the switch.
But
Come through.
Isn't each ring supposed to have its own individual power?
Yes. In the comics, yes.
Yes. And they weren't.
I don't know if that's what they're gonna. Yeah, they were supposed to be actual rings, right? That go on the finger. But I mean, I guess we'll fight, right? Once again, he got them at the end of the movie, right? So whatever powers they may possess, he might unlock them as maybe in the next one or in some future Avenger movie or something. Maybe who knows, right? So
I can see his sister trying to get the rings because she's from the same bloodline.
Yes, she has both. Wait, but she's not pure of heart though.
Neither was the father.
But Shang Chi is.
Yeah.
Well, apparently so.
But he would never hurt her.
He would never.
But she will hurt him.
But I wonder.
She did.
I wonder if like she can use it because if she can, obviously,
I think she absolutely can.
It makes sense. Yeah. I mean, she's.
But would they turn purple if she used them?
Ooh, like a little magenta.
it could be gray or white, like her armor.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason I asked is because it turned gold for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when his dad was using them, they were purple or blue,
They're
whatever
blue.
color it was.
They're blue.
Blue. Well, I'm wondering if they'll turn blue if she uses them for whatever same reason, pure heart or whatever the case may be. Like what makes them turn gold for him, but blue for the dad? Is that a sign of its obedience to the owner, its worthiness of the owner, whatever the case may be?
It could be light and dark. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the dad is dark.
True.
You know,
True.
with the anger and you know, wanting power, while the
His
mom
desires.
is peaceful, all on peace.
Yeah, because it did turn gold for her too when
Yeah.
she took him from him for like that
Mhm.
millisecond.
But Shang-Chi's one was gold with a little bit of red tint in it, which
Mm.
you know, which I thought was because of the Great Protector. You know what I mean?
A gold with a little bit of red tint.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I mean, and he's from San Francisco. 49ers, baby! Let's go! I had to sneak my team in there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Back to the topic.
Shameless plug-in right there. 49ers.
Gotta love it. Are we missing any other Easter eggs?
I'm sure we are.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, I said as much as I could figure out, but overall, the movie was great. It was a great movie. The martial arts is really what I was, focusing on, and I gotta give this movie an A+.
Oh,
I gotta give this movie an A+. It was good. I mean, I wouldn't say it's my favorite Marvel movie. My favorite Marvel movie is Ant-Man, but
really?
yeah, Ant-Man is my favorite, and yeah, so I give it an A+. Jimmy?
Oh. Well, grading scale. Yeah, I'll definitely have to give it an A+ as well. Like, cause I wasn't expecting it to be that good at all.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Like, just watching from the trailer wise, I wasn't as excited as I should have been. So A+ all around, visuals, actors, love it.
Yep. A+ for sure. I agree, Jimmy. I agree 100%. When I saw the few trailers that were out there, and I was just like, okay, it looks alright, you know. But oh man, it was so great, so well done. And honestly, it is probably my favorite Marvel movie of yet. I just thought it was just so well done. And it was just, I was like, man, this.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it brought me back to just watching really good kung fu movies or martial art movies and just going, dang, that was good.
Brings you back to like those 90s, back in the 90s where you used to go to the Blockbuster, you know, and go to the martial arts aisle.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Blockbuster's Children, that was a building where they had movies and you can rent them out.
Yeah.
And they were on like things like this, and they're called VHSs.
Yep.
VHS.
And,
Yeah.
And you always try to get there
Look it up.
early because the new movies came out at 4 p.m. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, you know,
The new releases.
all the new releases. Yeah.
And they were
4
always
p.m.
$1 more than everyone else, all
Yeah.
the other older movies.
Before the
It was
DVDs
like-
came out, remember where you could see the video was behind the actual cover, and you're like, oh,
Yep.
it's still there. Yeah, boom,
Yeah.
rent it. You know what I mean? Watch it like 18 times.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! See, those were the
Good old
days.
time.
I wish the
Those were
children
the
could
days
rewind
when
it.
you had to wait in line.
Like, we should have people just rewind tapes and see how it feels.
Yeah, just for that
Oh.
Yeah, the nostalgia.
nostalgia. Just
Right?
make an app. Just have that sound in their ears. Just like, please use your headphones.
Yeah. But there is something cool about going to like a Blockbuster or your local video
Definitely.
store. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Used to love that as a kid.
Yeah, man. That wraps up this episode. Want to thank Jimmy so much for coming on to the podcast. Jimmy, how can they get a hold of you?
You guys can get a hold of me on Instagram at JimmyKeyz_Nat702. That's JimmyKeyz_Nat702 and find out about all the shows and everything coming up.
All right. Thank you to White Wong Media. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Like us, comment down below, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All links are down below. Thanks again for tuning in.
See you next time.